Hey everyone, so we're live and in person, coming to you from the beautiful Fort Collins, Colorado. I am Fox.
And I am Frick. We did it backwards.
Gotcha. And we are Frick and Fox. Or PixelHeart Duo, as we are known here. You're going to have to be a little patient with us because we're going to gush a little bit about our latest and greatest excitement development in the gaming world. This game has taken the world quite literally by storm. I think they were 2 million users in 8 hours? Or was it 1 million?
So last I saw, and we need to get an update for today, but as of yesterday, they had sold 7 million copies in 5 days and had 2 million concurrent users on Steam.
That's just crazy. And, it's the game that nobody ever heard of until they heard of it. And this game we've talked about before, of course, is Palworld.
We had plans to talk about other topics and play other games. Our nightly routine was usually some ARAMs in League of Legends or other games together. And watch,
like Broforce, which is a lot of fun.
Yeah, Broforce. We love Devolver Digital. And then watch some anime or TV or movie. And instead we spend 3 to 4 hours a night playing Palworld. In fact, we started on Game Pass. Again, I promise you we are not being paid by Microsoft to shill for Game Pass. It's just an excellent value. We were playing on Game Pass and we loved the game so much, and we had heard that the Steam build was actually farther along, which that proved to be inaccurate. They had submitted a patch to Microsoft and were waiting on certification, so they were 2 builds behind because of waiting on that. But we liked the game so much that we shelled out the money to get it. It's still, as of right now, 10% off, and it will be for the next 2 to 3 days. But yeah, Palworld is something else.
Well, and even full price is $29.99. So, compared to dropping $70 on Hogwarts Legacy or something like that.
Pokemon.
Shh, we won't talk about the other P word. It's an incredible value with so much to do, and the thing that I love about it most, there's several things that I love about it most. Can you have several favorites?
Yeah, my kids do.
Okay. Well, one favorite thing is that it is for all of us Pokemon fan people, but aren't so entrenched in it that we get very pedantic about canon and stuff like that. The actuallys. You're gonna love this game because it is everything we wanted to see in adult Pokemon movies. So there's that.
Well, and I mean, it just goes to show, 7 million in 5 days, and that isn't an accurate representation of the Game Pass numbers either, because those are underrepresented too. But people want this, and it shows, the quote unquote Pokemon with guns. As some people have pointed out, it's also got elements of Arc in it, and it does what Arc does better. I used to play Arc. It's very clunky, but the developers are listening. Their Discord is active. They came out with a roadmap yesterday that included more pals, that included some stability fixes, cross-play, cross-server playability. They said that they're going to have arena PvP. They're going to have raid bosses, server-wide raid bosses. And when someone came out and said, yeah, but this is just going to be Rust, but with Pokemon, and one of the developers immediately chimed in on Discord and was like, we hear your concerns about this being Rust, but with pals, if you want those type of survival PvP games, there are 10 of them every week that come out on Steam and independent platforms, and they don't seem to last. That's not what we're aiming for. And I mean, it's like they're constantly listening, and they're constantly like providing feedback and doing bug fixes. In this game, it's on day 6 of early access. Early access, not even a launch, and the game is already more polished than most AAA titles I've played recently. You know, and so I mean, it's really, really solid, and it's holding both of our attention, and we have severe ADHD, so, or ADD, I guess. But
I call it GADD, game attention deficit disorder.
Yeah.
Because I tend to like hop around games, you know, and get bored quickly. So, and there's been, you know, just a few titles over the years that have really kept my attention long term. And one of the things, my other favorite thing about Palworld is that there is something that appeals to everyone. And if what you're looking for is different than what you were doing yesterday on Palworld, okay, fine. You can do something different on Palworld. Last night, while Frick was out catching a bunch of pals and stuff like that, I stayed at the home base and built a house complete with a bar and house plants, you know, because that's just what I wanted to do last night. And, you know, if you want to catch your pals, then you can do that. If you want to do dungeons, you can do that. If you want to raid syndicate camps, which are the human faction, you can do that. Or if you want to do the survival / builder, you know, thing, and build up your base and gather your resources, you can do that. Like, that is what is keeping my attention, because from moment to moment, you know, I could be in the mood to build something, and then I'm like, oh, that's right, I wanted to catch a flying Pokemon, we'll try not to do that. I need to catch a flying pal and build a harness so I can fly on it. Yes, you can fly on your pals. It's amazing.
Yeah.
And then you can do that. Like, that's like my favorite part of, well, one of my favorite parts of Palworld.
Yeah, and I mean, like, you know, just to echo what you said, like, I'm not a big builder. Like, I build just enough, with just enough bed space for our pals in the base, and like, that's it. Like, they can sleep, they can work, they can eat. I am all about automating the base so that I can go in an adventure, and that's what I was doing last night. You know, you were building a house, and I was flying all over the place on my Nightwing, you know, and trying to catch other pals that I think could help automate the base better, you know, and this morning I even logged on because I was trying to find a moose arena, which you need in order to put in a ranch in your farm at your base that you've built, in order to get milk so that you can have the last ingredient that we need to make cakes, so that we can put them in our breeding farm so that we can breed pals to create other pals, because some pals you can't catch in the wild, you can only breed. And that's the part that fascinates me. Like, the building is I just want to rush to get to the fun thing, like the, you know, like you can attest to. You were building a house and I was trying to find eggs on cliffs and like hatch the eggs so that we could get pals and see what pops out of the eggs. And even right now, like, we still have 2 eggs on the incubators. The servers pause whenever the host isn't in it, so like, they're paused right now, but we have 2 eggs. I have no idea what they are, so I'm gonna have to figure out what they are, like, next time we can log in.
Yeah.
So,
well, and you know, if you are the builder / you know, like Stardew Valley type person, there's lots for you there, and there's incentives as well. So it's not just like, oh, you know, you can just build up your base ad nauseum. Where no, I'm actually super excited. I'm looking at my technology and thinking, okay, I got to get to level 30 so that I got to get to level 30 technology so I can unlock the fine bed as opposed to what we're currently sleeping on in game, which is the shoddy bed. So there's those enticements to, again, regardless of what you want to do in the game, there's levels of eggs, like what Frick was talking about. There's levels of eggs so that the better they are, the better pal that you get out of it. And and the better eggs are found in like the more challenging areas and stuff like that. So it is challenging enough to continue to push you regardless of what you want to do in the game.
I almost died to a volcano getting an egg last night. And then getting away, I pulled a flying pal that was 12 levels higher than me. I was like, I just want this egg.
I died because my computer actually lagged out after pulling like 3 or so low level pals, and yeah, I came back to dead body. Kind of made me think about like what it would feel like to be attacked by a mob of 6-year-olds. Like, I still feel like it would hurt.
One of those trolley questions, would you rather fight 36-year-olds at once, or I can't remember the last one I said, like, I saw it was talking about, like, would you rather fight anyways. Back to Palworld. And that's
it was a chicken in the car every time you got in, or I can't remember the other one.
Yeah, but it was like it was an orangutan with a sword once a year, or you'd have to fight a chicken every time you got in your car after getting done with work. And it was like people were choosing the chickens, and someone then pointed out, well, it doesn't say the orangutan gets the sword, so that could level the playing field, like, But anyways, back to Palworld, and that highlights another thing. We were dying when we were playing on Game Pass. We hadn't figured out yet that you could configure your server. So for people who want like the survival aspect, you can do that. For people who want to do base building, when you set up a base, it does this like blue circle, and that's essentially like your base. And anything outside of that has building decay, can be attacked by pals, can be attacked, it just and you can actually turn off building decay. When you die, you drop everything that you had on you. You can change that so that you only drop certain items, or you can change it so you drop all pals. You can change it so that if a pal dies, it dies. Like normally, if it faints, it's kind of like the other P game where you have to take it back to the pal box, which is like your base setup, and put it in there and let it sleep or rest for 10 minutes, and then it comes back to full health. Excuse me. I mean, you can configure your server to, like, I have ours set up to like 1.5 times XP because we played a good 7 or 8 hours on Game Pass and then switched over to Steam. So I wanted to jumpstart us. So I mean, we're at 1.5 XP, and we're at half the hunger. So like our characters and our pals, they get hungry half as fast, because that was also pissing me off. Like, I could not feed my Nightwing enough red berries to keep it from being hungry all the time. So it was like, you know what? I still want that aspect. We still want that survival aspect, but we don't want the focus to be on that like archetype gameplay. We want to be able to build. We want to be able to just to do whatever we want, especially because the game is in early access. So there's not really a story in the like grand scheme of things. So there are like little tablets you can find when you're running around and flying around that kind of tell a story, and I think that the developers will make one once the game's out of early access. But right now, like, you can pretty much just do whatever. It's a sandbox game, and the pals are adorable, and I can't wait to start breeding a bunch of them. I promise I am not a sicko. I want to see what combinations there are. That's why I play the game. Like, I'm all about the science behind it. So.
And catching them all. We gotta catch them all.
Well, you do, or breed them all. Some of them.
One way or another, we have to have them all. Although I didn't build our house with PAL beds inside of it because the PALs can stay outside.
Yep.
I don't want any PALs bringing in their muck and gluck into our fancy new house that I spent several hours building.
That's currently wood only, which if somebody catches on fire will burn it to the ground. But we're going to replace it with stone fixtures. I have
a stone door.
Well, we have a stone door. I have the stone fixtures. You don't yet because you're a couple levels behind.
I haven't unlocked that.
Once you do
you do get more XP when you're out in the world interacting with pals. The XP is slow when you're building, but it is there. You do still get XP for building and cooking and gathering resources and stuff, which just not as much, which is why I'm behind in levels, because he likes to catch and fight and kill.
And I mean, there's XP at all times. Like, if you assign pals to the base to do work, because you can, like, as your base levels up, you assign pals. They all have different jobs, depending on what the pal is. This pal can mine. This pal can mine level 2, so it can mine ore to smelt ingots. This pal helps you cook because all it can do is just breathe fire. So you put it in your base and it helps you breathe fire, and it smelts, the ore down to ingots. Like, and all the while, those pals are getting experience. The pals in your party are getting experience. You're getting experience. You catch pals out in the wild. The first 10 pals you catch of a species, you get, ramping experience for that. So, like, it's all designed to help you unlock things, to help you do whatever you want to do. Yes, it is a resource gathering game. Yes, it is a survival game. Yes, it is a monster catching game. Yes, it is a monster breeding. It's all of those things. She hasn't seen the first boss yet. Like, I've been trying to cheese it because there's a way to catch the first boss far too low level. You're not technically able to catch the bosses. They have a 0% catch rate, but there's a way to cheese it so you can actually like freeze them and have a 100% catch rate. And so far, I'm 0 for 2 in getting it. But that first boss is no joke. They're calling it Pal Souls because it's like, or Pal's Born, just because it's insane the level or the difficulty difference between just running around and catching pals and building stuff, and then you step into that first boss. Right now, there's only 5 of them. They're akin to gym leaders in the other game, but it's no joke, and like it's fun. Like, it's going to be challenging, and the game is not without bugs. I mean, pathing and AI on the pals is kind of a problem. I can't tell you the number of times I've had to go reassign a pal to the base because it got stuck on top of a tree and then got hungry, and then it started overeating due to stress, and then it got sick, and then I had to go make like, you can touch a little bit on the depth of that, like the stuff that we see the pals and their feelings, because it tells you their statuses while they're working or sleeping or whatever, and it's like, huh? Like, what?
Yeah, and they've gotten stuck a couple times behind, on objects when they're supposed to be, taking resources to your storage boxes, and then you walk through that pile, and then all of a sudden you're frozen because you're overburdened. So, it's not perfect, but let me tell you, there's been launches that have been much, much worse. Like
Final Fantasy 14, they had to relaunch the game. Everybody who tried to play it on day one couldn't even get into the servers.
Yeah.
Any WoW expansion.
Any WoW expansion.
Mm-hmm.
Speaking of WoW, I would say that was Palworld is definitely not WoW-like. However, I will say no game prior to this game has kept my attention like World of Warcraft, because I played vanilla before it was vanilla. And what I was talking about earlier was what I loved about World of Warcraft, and what kept my attention and kept me going back was the aspect of being able to do a bunch of different things. I loved farming in WoW. I loved, crafting and making stuff and selling it on the auction house and this and that. Like, in addition to the raiding and the dungeons and that kind of thing as well. And then the PvP aspect, like I said, it hits all points in what you might want out of a game. And I foresee myself playing Palworld for a very long time.
Yeah, well, and
it's only going to get better.
And as the game, launches and gets supported, I think they want to do this long term. And I see it long term. I mean, we were talking about, since Chris Metzen came back to WoW, like, we might have to play the last few I have no desire to play anything else right now. And I say that on the heels of us just recommending a bunch of games. Like, she works for a major retailer, so she's got Prince of Persia. I haven't even bought it. I haven't even thought about buying it. And I was so excited to try it. Like a Dragon, the new installment comes out tomorrow. I love RPGs. I'm playing Palworld, sorry. Like, I gotta even now, I'm thinking about where the Moose Arenas are at so that I can catch one and put it in, to make milk. Like, I want to do that, and even the pals, going back to what I was talking about, they have moods. So some pals you catch and their work speed is slow, and when you install them to the base, it says, seems like they're slacking, it seems like they're not a good worker. And then some of them will get upset over working conditions and refuse to work, and you'll see this little red lightning bolt above their head while they're sleeping. And others will get sad, or they'll get a sprain, and then you have to go to the medicine bench if you've built it in your base and make
if
medicine.
Anyone has worked with Gen Z, it's like that.
They're very stressed out.
It's like that.
These pals, and they'll tell you, so and so Floppy looks to be stressed out. Like I was telling you, we have a I don't remember the name of the pal, but it's one of the dino ones. It got stuck on top of a tree and got stressed out and started overeating. And it says is overeating and developed an eating disorder, and its sickness was overfull because it got stuck on a tree. It's almost like we were laughing at some of this. We're they're going on strike because of working conditions. You have a bed, you have food, you have heat. We have a hot tub, a hot springs for our pals to go restore their sanity, their sanity levels. So the less sane they are, the less they want to work, and the more they just goof off and don't want to work and they take breaks. We have a hot spring built in both of our bases so that the pals can go. They fall asleep in the hot spring and then they don't want to work, and it's
I think you're channeling our boomer parents now. You got a roof over your head and food in your stomach, and you got a hot spring. What are you complaining about? That's what you sound like.
Yeah. Well, and it just... Yeah. I mean, I do. And the little boy in the back of my head is going, stop it, stop talking. Shut up. Nah. And it's words are coming out of my mouth.
Do you understand the words that are coming out of my mouth?
She's been quoting Jackie Chan Rush Hour during Palworld for the last 2 days.
My daddy once caught a bullet.
because we have our lift monks have submachine guns. My Tansy has an AK. I want to build rocket launchers for our pangolins, which is the penguin. I just don't want to unlock that technology because I was trying to rush the breeding farm. So she sees these pals running around with guns, and she starts quoting Jackie Chan lines.
Specifically Rush Hour.
Rush Hour, yeah. But and I mean the game, it just captures everybody's attention. Her son, I don't know, he's a min-maxer. Like, he's trying out for Mythic Plus guilds and, like, advancement guilds. Like, he plays League of Legends to get better. Like, he hits plat and, like, these high level and emerald and, like, these higher levels. For those of you, the Well Actually crowd, like, the top tenth of a billionth of a percent hits, like, high diamond and challenger and master. And, like, so emerald for him is pretty good considering how I've never been higher than gold in League. Like, Heroes of the Storm, different story, but League, so it's capturing his attention. When we're playing, he'll come downstairs and on Discord, like, I'll see him come flying around the corner, and he's like, Mom, like, and he talks about this and that, and he, like, sees what she's doing, and he's like, oh, and I'll ask him, what level are you at? He's like, oh, I'm level 30, and it's like, oh, we're level 13.
He's like 45 now.
45, like.
Something like that.
And, like, yeah.
I had somebody come into my work the other day. This guy was a hardcore Call of Duty person, and he dropped it. He hasn't touched Call of Duty in 3 days. And I asked him, I was like, did it hurt? Like, are you twitching? And he said, I haven't even thought about it. I was like, all right, this game could cure a whole lot of things. So if it can cure, Call of Duty fanatic.
Yeah, I mean, it's, and I love FPSs, and I love MOBA. I love, competitive games, teamwork. Like, I think it's just you and me on our server right now. And I fully expect a content wipe. They're going to do it a couple of times. It's in early access. It'll just make me want to play even more. Like, I want to try it this way now. Like, I want to try it that way now. My character, which cannot be remade, looks like a 55-year-old man for some reason. Like, I put facial hair on him, and all of a sudden he had eye wrinkles. And I'm like, why do you have eye wrinkles? So, like, maybe I'll make my guy look younger. Maybe I'll give him a hip hairstyle. I don't know. But, other games that are in early access, when they do constant content wipe, I'm like, all right, and I'm done. But, like, this one, it's gonna hold my attention. So yeah.
So all of this to say, the TLDR, we have. Can we count our big toes on the thumbs up? Can we
Sure.
give 4 enthusiastic thumbs up if you include both of our big toes?
Well, that would be 8.
No, 1, 2, 3, 4.
And I have a set too.
Oh, okay. Times 2. 8 enthusiastic thumbs up. 4 of them being big toes.
It's insert Asians in math. I'll hear it in the comments, but you know what? I don't care. Bring it.
I was giving main character, so I was only thinking about myself.
But yeah, Palworld, highly recommended. Highly recommended. It has consumed our game time. And as we get more free time, that just means more time to play Palworld until the Moozarinas come home.
I was thinking about buying a Steam Deck just so I can play it on the move.
Yep, the Lenovo Legion Go just went on sale, and I was like, ooh, and it comes with 3 months of free Game Pass from Microsoft. We're not getting paid to shill. Yeah, just so that we can play. Like, I thought about playing it right now, like, while we're hanging out today together, instead of going to do fun things in the local area, let's play Palworld. Nah, we're not going to do that, but...
Well, and I think we should try to stream it for our channel, and so then that way, if you're still on the fence and you just want to see more what it's about and talk to somebody that's actually in the moment playing it rather than watching a VOD on YouTube or something like that, we'll stream it a few times a week maybe.
Hey, we've already streamed it a couple times, so tune in. Frickin' Fox LLC on Twitch.
Hit that subscribe button. Do I sound like an influencer now?
What are we influencing?
I don't know. I'm influencing you to unlock the fine furniture collection in Palworld.
We're influencing acid reflux with the amount of Palworld and Game Pass references over the last few weeks. God, these people.
and we can't say the other P word anymore, because honestly, as the more we play it, the more it differentiates itself from the other P words franchise. So there's a lot. There's a lot.
Yeah. Well, that is it. Special episode on Palworld and only Palworld. We covered 30 minutes worth. You know, almost an entire episode just on one game. Like it is that much fun. You know, we'll probably cover it more next week. You know, in our next episode to talk about what we unlocked and you know what we did. So that wraps it up this week. Be sure to listen to us on any of your streaming platforms: Spotify, Apple Music, RSS, Google Music, Amazon Music, anywhere. Follow us on our YouTube channel, Frickin' Fox LLC. We'll stream on Twitch occasionally. I'll try and actually put some effort into putting out a schedule so that we can loosely follow it. Palworld.
Get it.
It's legit.
Peace.